here, and then you have to regress, and you're like, oh, I'm never going to find anything to match the epicness that was what I have come into this world to understand is literature.
Yeah. And also, my mom was a big fan of Poe. So she got me like a big book of Poe, and I read all of his poems and short stories. And it
Oh,
also,
did you watch
yeah.
The House of Usher?
Yes. And I loved, I got like all the references to it. I loved
Oh,
it
I
so
love that
much.
for you. Hello,
Um,
folks. Before we
Hello.
continue gushing about literature, I'm Ash,
And I'm Fatima.
and this is the pad.
Fatash.
Oh, my button did it. Cool, great.
We were talking about why I didn't read the Hardy Boys or the
Mm,
Babysitters Club.
we're
And
talking about why she's such a snob when it comes to her literature, and that's
I'm
because
not a snob.
she started on very highbrow literature where
I
the rest of
had
us did not.
I had
It's
access
okay.
to everything that was on the bookshelf in my house. And what was on the bookshelf was Richard Wright, Shakespeare, books on yoga. Oh, and a lot of psychology books too. But they were like existential psychology, such as like
That explains a lot.
uh Man's Search for Himself, Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs type of stuff.
And when did you start reading these types of books?
Okay, so I would thumb through them and not understand them.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the psychology stuff, thumb through them, not understand them, and then go to the library and get something that was more on my reading level
Yeah. That
in
sounds about
order
right.
to to try to understand them.
Yeah, you got to work your way up.
Right, right. And because like also I have a father that has a PhD in like I think his master's was in education and his PhD is in like organizational leadership or something. Administrative leadership, that's it. So like he taught me how to use the library and like, oh, if you don't understand something, don't just give up. Go look for something on your level and work your way up.
Yeah.
And there are books now that like he gave them to me when I was 16. I tried to read them, didn't understand them, understood them more once I had an undergraduate degree in psychology, understand them even more now that I have a PhD in psychology.
You're like 40, so.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, too, it's concepts and themes that you might not understand, especially if that's like your first foray into it. So you have to you gotta kind of introduce yourself to it with like baby's first existential crisis or whatever to
Right.
really enjoy it. And then sometimes it's like it's even just the vocabulary. Like you can't understand the conversation flow because you don't understand the grammatical rules of why people are speaking that way. Like, for me, I did not enjoy Shakespeare when I was first introduced to it because it was like the first time I was hearing that fitment structure. Wherefore art thou? It's been thine fortnight. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? I don't understand.
Well,
But
I liked
then,
that. I liked that
I,
even then. But
well, for me,
yeah.
confusion hampers enjoyment for me.
Mm.
And so to first hear that, especially with like Romeo and Juliet, I think that's how I was introduced to it in high school. I did not like it. Just blank pages of just words and just reading it. And we would do like round robin reading in class too. So some folks can't even read or they don't read at the pace that it should be read at. But then I saw Romeo plus Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, and they used that same Victorian Shakespearean speaking, but it was set in modern time, well, 90s modern. And somehow I was able to understand better with actual like body movements and inflections. I say fluctuations, inflections in it. So to actually hear how it's supposed to be spoken and not read by kids in modern century trying to understand what fortnight means. I was like, okay, I'm actually enjoying the story of Romeo and Juliet. Also, it's not the romance that I was being told it is. Oh, it's a dramatic, bittersweet romance. I'm like, no, these niggas is dumb. These niggas was like 14, fell in love, quote unquote, after one night, was married the next day, and killed themselves a week later. And I'm supposed to care about these niggas? No. All of us on bullshit their parents was on? Nah. Where's the romance? Is the
I like
romance in the
it.
room with us?
I like it because I really like the way that our teacher taught it to us and having us to think critically about it, because then she like related to other things that we see in the media that is marketed to us as a romance, but might not actually be romantic if a person were to do that in real life. Because especially when you think about all of those 80s movies where it's just kind of like, yeah, show up at your ex's house with a boombox in the middle of the night.
No,
and it's like, no, you're stalking. Like, this relationship is over.
I appreciate that your teacher put that lens on it,
Yeah.
or that framing, because I don't remember my teachers really putting any framing on it other than we're reading Shakespeare and this is the most well-known Shakespeare play, but there was no sense of, from what I can remember, actually criticizing it as like what Shakespeare intended it to be. Like, I don't believe Shakespeare. He didn't intend for it to be seen as romantic. He meant for it to be seen as, look at these dumbasses. You see this? Don't do this. And everyone's like, oh my God, they love each other.
Are these two star-crossed lovers, or are these two teenage dumbasses?
Right. Like, it was never, at least in my class, it was never framed to like, what is your perspective on this? Is it star-crossed lovers, or is this dumbass kids? And I'm a dumbass kid reading it. Like, we were like the age that Romeo and Juliet was supposed to be, and to actually, and that was another thing too that helped to see it. Well, in the movie, at least the Leonardo DiCaprio one, they're already in like their 20s, so they already look too old. But like, there was like maybe a 70s version of the movie as well, and they did look a little younger. But like,
how bad did that mess us up, seeing these 30-year-olds playing teenagers? And then you get to high school and it's like, why everybody still look like a kid? Including me.
In my defense, I didn't actually watch a whole lot of movies of like, or from, okay, one, I didn't watch a whole lot of movies of like high schoolers, quote unquote. I was still watching Disney Channel, and those high schoolers did pretty much look like me. You know,
I was watching
Lizzie McGuire,
Saved by the Bell, and also Clueless.
Yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot. I watched a little bit of Saved by the Bell.
That black girl was in her 30s.
I know. I watched a little bit of that, but again, when I was coming up, it was a lot of like, again, Disney Channel. So Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, cartoons too. Cartoons still look very much age appropriate, at least American cartoons, because if you look at like Japanese anime, the JoJo's are like 16 going on 45. But nowadays, seeing these quote unquote teenagers in these shows, I don't know what people are supposed to look like at any particular age. I'm like, y'all need to ask. I need folks to start asking how old people are, because I look at Beyonce's daughter. Look at Blue. Blue is 12. I thought she was 17.
Well, she's tall.
I know. And she's Hollywood 17. Like, being under the scrutiny of the public, I'm sure ages you in a way that us regular poors don't experience. So she's being raised completely different. And being in the spotlight, being on stage in general, you are going to have to wear some kind of makeup, because she's a performer. Like, she be, backup dancing with her mom a lot. And even if she is a 12-year-old.
Yeah, she was on stage with her on her tour, and now she was at the halftime show. You would not, nobody, even men don't show up to the halftime show barefaced. Like,
Yeah, exactly. No man worth their salt who performs on stage don't have at least some light beat, some kind of foundation. Every performing man on camera has some kind of makeup on.
yeah.
Full stop. It is what it is. Because otherwise you're gonna be all sweaty and all kinds of stuff. Like,
But
there's
I
no
also
shame in
don't
doing it.
understand why people can't just let Blue live. Because, like, she was born
Yeah,
and people were like, ugh, what is she doing?
right. I think Beyonce is doing the best she can raising her children
Yeah.
in the environment that she as an adult has cultivated. Because I've only seen the twins maybe twice.
Yeah, because of how people reacted, how crazy people acted with just seeing Blue. Like,
I mean, in general, I don't need to see celebrities' kids.
yeah.
I don't need to. Why do I? The only time I need to see your kid is if your kid and within your family you have decided they want to be a part of the industry somehow. They want to sing, they want to dance. Then sure, I'm gonna see them because that's the route they're trying to lead. That's the kind of career they're trying to have. But outside of that, I don't give a fuck what your kids look like. You can make the announcement, cool, happy for y'all. I don't ever need to see what your kids look like. Ever. Respectfully.
Right.
But yeah. I'd like to say, I don't know what ages people are supposed to look like or look like. I don't know.
Well, also, like, there's been advances in skincare and science and technology.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know how old I am.
Yeah. I mean, my niece looks her age. She acts her age for the most part too. So that's cool. But like once you start hitting about the double digit age, that's when I start not really being able to clock, and I need to ask just out of curiosity. But yeah, I still get
Yeah.
mistaken as younger than what I am.
Mhm.
It's not the flex that people think it is.
It is for me. Shit.
Personally, I don't know. It kind of makes me feel away when like young dudes are talking to me. Maybe it's because I don't know. I'm not at that older age where women start to be ignored. I'm still in an age where like guys are trying to talk to me. So like,
I don't think that age ever comes. Like, men still hit on my mother.
your mama probably look good. She probably got your ass. Y'all both got fat asses.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what they talking to. They talking to the thing attached to the ass.
Whatever. Cute.
It's a compliment. But let me tell you, I will disappear to men. Once I no longer look young, I have no ass or titties to draw attention, so I will just disappear into a bush like Homer Simpson. But until then, folks think I'm their age. It's funny too, because I'd be trying to like gauge how old these guys are who talk to me, and it's funny how they kind of hint at how old they are just in like what they do and don't know. And I'm like, you're less than 30. Like, it'll be little things. I'm like, you're less than 30. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's very telling too if you're into certain fandoms. Like, I don't know if it translates a lot with like books and literature, but if you're into like anime or anything like pop culture that has generational stamps on it, you can pretty much tell how old somebody is based on what shows they know and don't know. I'm like, yeah, you're a young one. You're a baby.
So, how was your Christmas?
Oh, I was sick.
No.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm on the men. I'm coming out of it. It took like a week, literally to the day. I flew back from I went to a holiday convention
What's
Um,
that?
it's called Holiday Matsuri in Orlando. It's an
Mm.
anime convention, but make it Christmas. So like Christmas themed cosplays.
You
Um,
didn't spend Christmas with your family?
no. That's what I'm getting to that. What I'm saying
Oh, okay.
is the weekend prior to Christmas, I was at a holiday Christmas convention, and then Sunday I got home. I had let my apartment air out for like 4 days, so I had the window open, and my
Mhm.
apartment was really really cold, and I didn't really give it enough time to like heat up before I got into bed that night. Woke up, had a slight itch in the back of my throat. I'm like, oh, got a cold brewing because my house was cold. And so 2 days before Christmas, I was coming down with a cold. And by the time Christmas hit, I was pretty much down for the count. Just not eating, just only taking shots of Robitussin every 4 hours and just melting into the couch of my aunt's place. So wasn't too active. But I have family over, so that was nice. Most of the family has already gone back home as of yesterday because work and all that, but it was at least relaxing enough. This is like the second year in a row I've been like sick with something. The year before it was cramps, and this year it was the cold. So hopefully next year I'll be good. But it's now a tradition for me to don my Grinch pajamas, and when it's time for family photos, I'm pretty much just laid out, and somebody in the family photo has to hold me up, essentially. And I'm only doing it because it annoys my sister.
Oh.
Because she's like, the whole time she calling me a fucking dog during the photo being taken. Like, I'm literally sick. I have not moved off the couch like all weekend. All weekend. She's seen this. And they've been trying to get everybody together to take a picture. Because when my family gets together, we pretty much just nap. We don't do nothing. We don't play games. We don't explore the city. We're asleep 90% of the time and maybe eating. So I'm sick. And they're like, hey, we need to take a picture. We need to take a picture. I come over and I just lay across my grandparents' lap. Because they have they get to sit down. They're in their late 70s. They're sitting down. So I literally just lay across their lap. She's like, you're like the family dog. I'm like, I ain't gonna respond at that point. I'm sick. I don't care. Just take the fucking picture. Get off my grandparents. You're not 90 pounds. I'm like, I probably am. I literally not eaten in 3 days. My body will eat itself. It don't take much for me to lose weight. I probably am 90 pounds now. I tell you that, girl. I'm like, yeah, I'm the family dog. You think I'm a family dog? I'll be the bitch real quick, but too sick to really retaliate. But I like the picture. Because it fucks with my sister.
Oh, you should have said woof.
I should have. Woof, woof, bitch.
And a bite.
Right. My damn nerves. Always something with that girl. Like, I didn't give your sister, your daughter, one of the best gifts under the goddamn tree.
Oh, what'd you get her?
I got her an instant Polaroid camera and a camera case for it.
They still make those?
They do.
Ooh.
It's the Fujifilm something or other. She was taking pictures all day. It only came with like 10 things of film, but she used it all before I even woke up.
Wow.
But she's pretty good. Like, the way my sister's been using her as her like camera person anyway for her selfies. She got like a ring light and everything. She know angles. I'm like shit, for these little instant photos, she doing the damn thing at 9, and I want to encourage her her artistry. She between that and journaling, she's like getting into journaling.
Aww.
Quote unquote. I don't know what that means. I didn't be seeing random sheets of paper all over the damn house, but if it gets her writing, drawing, taking photos, thinking, You know, anything that will just encourage that in children at a young age is so important. But yeah, that was my Christmas. What about your Christmas? I can show some pictures.
I had a very good Christmas.
Ooh,
So do
you
you see
baked?
how like bright and shiny I am?
Oh, did you get a ring light for Christmas?
I got a new, bigger, better one. And also, I can't show you the new microphone that I have without it making a lot of noise, but I have
There
a
I
fan.
am.
I have a
Just sick.
Aw.
Just sick.
Well, everyone else
Um,
looks good.
well, except for Austin, he just woke up. It was
Well,
like
he looks
5 a.m.
better than you. I mean, like
Yeah, at least he's standing. Yeah, just sick. At one point, I ended up just rolling off of my grandparents' lap, and my brother just carried me to the couch and just threw me on the couch.
who's the one in red?
That's my aunt.
Okay.
Y'all actually close in age. I think y'all only like maybe 3 or so years apart.
Okay.
That black don't crack, man.
I know.
I'm the 4th oldest in that picture. You wouldn't know it to look at it.
Yeah, and you just look like a sack of person. Like,
Just
but
a sack of person. Let me just change my name to that, sack of person. Meanwhile, a week ago, there was me just looking
oh,
cute, just cute, you know, just getting ready for the holidays. Look at that.
cute. Yeah, that is very cute.
How do we go from that to just a sack of person? Get you a girl who can do both.
Yes.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So you got a new microphone.
Yes, I got a new light. I got money. I got a very cozy little blanket that has a pocket in it.
Me
So-
too.
Yes,
I'm wearing it.
And it's so hot. It's so like warm and cozy. But if you fall asleep on that, you're gonna wake up sweating because it's so, I don't know why. I don't know what kind of technology it is that makes it so hot. Like I remember on Christmas Day I put it on and then I was like thinking about going upstairs to put it up, but like dad was blocking the entrance and talking about something and he kept going and then I was like, I have to take this off. It's so hot. But I love it. It also has a little pocket in it, which I think is for snacks that you are hiding from the other people who are in the room with you.
Sound about right.
Yes, because we have a crumb snatcher in the house.
Your mama.
Oh, I was thinking my brother. Every time he sees me, like every time he hears like the little crinkle crinkle, he like will come from I don't know where and like run into the room and be like, "What you got? What you got? What you got? Can I have some?" If he sees me in the kitchen making something, he's like, "What you making? What you making? Can I have some?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Some things never change. It don't matter how old you get. Your younger siblings will still act like younger siblings.
Yes. Yes. And of course, I gotta say, like, you don't like this kind. Well, what is it? Well, you don't, it doesn't matter because you don't like this kind. He's like, but you lie a lot. So, like, what is it? And also, did you know that cake mixes are getting smaller and smaller and smaller? Okay.
I'm not surprised.
In the 50s, they were like 18 ounces and something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got reduced to 16 ounces. And now it's been reduced to 15 ounces. And they don't ever change the recipe on the box.
Oh,
and telling you. Right. So my rum cake, like I was happy with it, but I was like, it's just not like, it's not as like big and fluffy as it usually is. And I was trying to think like, what happened? Like, I know I can make a rum cake, but it just didn't like, it's like subtle differences. Everybody else ate it, loved it, but I was like, I just don't know. So then
as an artist, you're like, nah, this ain't it.
Right. And so, and then I fell down the rabbit hole of the ever shrinking cake mixes and the fact that they don't ever change the recipe on the back, but it's throwing off these recipes that are from like that are written in my grandmother's hand.
Yeah.
So then I figured, okay, I know how to fix it. What I'll do is I'll ask Dad to get 2 boxes of the same cake mix, and then I'll measure it because we have a scale. I'll measure it to make it so that it is the same number of ounces as it would have been if my grandmother were making it in the 50s. Here's the thing. Dad didn't realize, and I didn't realize either until Christmas Eve when I go to make the carrot cake, that he did not buy 2 boxes of carrot cake. What he bought was 1 box of carrot cake and 1 box of spice cake.
Did you make a spicy carrot cake?
That's exactly what I did, because I was like, well, it's Christmas Eve. I'm not going out there. And spice cake, I'm looking at it, smelling it. It looks very similar. Smells very similar to the carrot cake, except for it doesn't have any dehydrated carrots in it. So what I'll do is I'll just like put a little bit, I'll, work it out with the ounces so that it has a little bit of spice in it. And see how that works out. Actually, and I was telling my mom about it before she like had her first bite of it. And after she had her first bite of it, she was like, oh, if this is how it tastes when you fuck it up like that again, that's good.
An actual tasty accident.
Yes, a tasty.
But here's the thing too. You actually have like, there's a science to baking. You have to know what flavors are going to play well with each other.
Right.
Because like, I don't know if the same could have been done with like
vanilla or chocolate or lemon. Yeah,
exactly. Lemon, but like I heard spice and carrot. I was like, that could work. That kind of like earthy kind of like it would add to, because carrot cake isn't usually like a sweet cake anyway, and spice don't also have to be sweet either. It usually is for the folks who just want a little bit of lightness but not necessarily a whole cotton candy in their mouth kind of situation. So
right,
that I was like, okay, she could make that work. But that reminded me of a Reddit post I saw of this woman who was trying to keep her sister from not cooking for Thanksgiving because she always be making some disgusting just changes, like using like she's like oat milk in a green bean casserole or something, like stuff that even as much as folks will clown on white folks about their cooking and all that, even I could tell this was probably a white family just off the green bean casserole. No offense to anyone non-white that eat green bean casserole, that's just a stereotype.
We eat green bean casserole.
Yeah, but like I don't know how white folks co-opt that as being like their thing. But anyway, or that's just been associated with them. But either way, this woman was doing stuff that just sound like inedible. She made like a turkey gelatin and put glitter in like a cranberry gravy. It was something.
Have you
so
seen
heinous.
Some of the cookbooks from the 50s, 60s, and 70s? Because I have like those
back when they were like obsessed with gelatin. What is wrong with them?
A savory gelatin with some hot dogs in it, like that.
I don't.
I
can't. But yeah, this woman, and the woman swore up and down that she was just trying to expand her family's palate. And I'm like, that's not it, sis. That's not how you expand a palate. That sound like you were holding them hostage with their mouth open with one of them gag shits, and are just
who I don't trust at the potluck
Who that?
Vegans.
Well, personally, I haven't really.
I'm just
I haven't
saying.
been
I'm saying you let some cashews soak in some water for a couple hours, and then you blended them up, and now you're trying to convince me that it's cheese.
No. Don't do that. No, like, because it's okay. I don't want to put this on all vegans because there's some vegan options. Like, don't
I don't feel good about discriminating, but I do like when I'm dating, it's something that I kind of like look out for. Like, not only is this man vegan, but like, do I ever see this man going vegan? So like, if I see him eating hot dogs and steak, I'm thinking like, okay, I don't eat that stuff, but I'm kind of glad to see him eating it because
I'm pretty sure you breaking some vegan laws there, sir. That ain't it.
Because I love vegetables, love fruits and vegetables, eat a lot of them, but I don't see myself going vegan. And if you ask me to make 2 meals for dinner because you're vegan, I won't.
No, if you're vegan, just cook your own stuff. Bring your own stuff.
Yeah, that's not good enough because then they come to the potluck and they're like, I brought vegan artichoke dip. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, don't you want some? And I'm like, no, thank you.
What's
and then
like
people won't let you get away with the no thank you.
I would say it's already artichokes, but I guess what is that? Ranch and mayonnaise or something?
It's cheese. It's cheese.
Oh, cheese.
Yeah. And that's where we get into the soggy cashews that they are trying to tell me is cheese.
They keep trying to make nuts anything but nuts. They swear, ooh, it's oat
nuts are great. I love nuts.
Calling nut a nut. God damn it. You're not about to just grind it up and then turn it white and tell me it's cheese. You ain't about to add it to water and tell me it's milk. It's nut water and whatever the fuck what is and nut something. I don't know. It's not cheese. It's grated nut. It's soggy grated nut and nut milk. It's not cheese.
Soggy blended nut.
Soggy blended nut and nut water. Sorry.
We're talking about vegans.
Vegans trying to tell me that soggy blended nuts is cheese.
And how they get their feelings hurt at the potluck. When, okay, if you're vegan, why don't you, it's right there. Why don't you just bring some vegetables?
Yeah, just do that. Don't
bring some vegetables.
Don't
and some hummus. That's vegan.
Or
without grossing everybody out.
Tofu. How about that? Tofu.
You could do so much with tofu.
Stop trying to make stuff that's not what it is. The thing, okay? You know, just let it. You can't eat cheese. That's it. There's no alternative to cheese. It's just cheese. You got to make cheese with dairy. Period.
Oh my God. I've seen vegans on the internet blending up roasted squash and then mixing it with macaroni and say, this tastes better than macaroni and cheese. I'm like, don't.
Is that what you tell yourself at night so you can sleep and not be hungry? Don't lie to me. Lie to yourself. Don't lie to me. You're not gonna beat the supremacy that is dairy. Period. Period. You just not. You can't. You can maybe somehow create artificial. I don't even know how you make artificial cheese.
Don't.
I mean, I'm already eating it with the whatever yellow cheese is. Do we have American cheese? That's probably already artificial. That's pretty good. I don't care.
Vegan chicken nuggets. Oh, I thought I was at the Whole Foods. I told you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just stop it. It's not chicken. Mm-hmm. Just call it vegan nuggets. Just call it that.
Yeah, do that.
You're not eating meat. Why would you want something similar to the thing that you are?
Because you want the thing. You just don't want to admit it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't call it vegan chicken nuggets when you don't even want to eat chicken. It's vegan nuggets. What the fuck?
vegans on the internet crying, talking about
Like,
I've
I
been
don't
vegan for 20 years and I just had
want to date a black person. I'm gonna date a vegan black person. Like what?
No, you
I hate
don't.
black people who date the vegan alternative of black people. I'm gonna just date this very dark tanned white person. It's a vegan black person.
Oh man.
Anyway. Oh, what were we talking about?
We had a vegan over for Thanksgiving one time. We
Oh.
weren't expecting him. He
Oh.
popped up.
Why does it sound like a horror movie?
We were like, "Why are you here, sir? Why are you here on this day?" But
did y'all know him? Did anyone know this random
okay.
vegan?
So this is a guy who I guess he had like called up my mother. He found out that my grandmother was over at the house on that day, and so like he wanted to come visit the family because he was a friend of my mother's side of the family. Apparently, he had a crush. So my grandmother had 12 kids. He had a substantial crush on her oldest daughter. Like when I say substantial, like he had money and he gave money to my aunt to support her art. He bought her furs and he bought furs for my grandmother too. And still, my aunt was always just kind of like, never really wanted to date him. But I digress. He was vegan. He came over for Thanksgiving. It's like, can we get you something? Because like, it's going to be hard.
Wait, hold on. So let me get it straight. A simp.
Don't call him that. That's mean. That's that word. That word. That word. What do we want them to do? Let's not make fun of them. That's not nice.
Let me finish. A simp.
I don't support that word.
Your grandmother's oldest child. Your grandmother's oldest child.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your aunt of some sort.
Yeah.
Came to your mama's house.
Mm-hmm.
Married. 2 kids. Not the woman he was simping on all those years ago, but the
he
sister.
was a friend of the family, the whole family.
The simp of the family wanted to say hi to the mother of the woman he was simping on and her sister. Do I have that correct?
I don't like the word of the use.
Regardless of what I'm referring to him as, is that do I have that correct?
Yeah.
Benefactor. How about that? Benefactor of the family.
Yeah.
Sure. Back in the day, he would have been known as a benefactor. Today, he's a simp because he put all his money. Today, he would be seen as. Today, he would be. A lot of folks would be calling him a simp. If she had an OnlyFans, he'd probably be in the top 1%.
What do they call it? It ain't tricking if you got it. It ain't simping if you got it. He had a lot of money, in part because not only was he vegan, but he sold vegan products. He has a business.
Look, all I'm saying is today, that is what folks will be calling him. But yes, he's very much a benefactor. Furs for everyone.
Not everyone.
Okay, well, those that he cared about.
Yeah.
And hopefully, unlike some of the simps today, he did it. And even though he did not necessarily get the results he wanted in the end, which was, marrying the eldest daughter, he moved on with his life. And it was like, damn.
Maybe he got married. He got married. He had kids.
Right. Like, damn.
He didn't get stuck.
Maybe I should have gotten her the mink instead of the fox. Well, I'll give the mink to the next woman. But she'll always have a place in my heart. And he moves on. Because he's got it like that. He's got the money. And now he wants to bestow his old benefactees family with some vegan goods, even though she's not there.
He didn't try to give us any goods. He was just coming to visit. And he was talking about his veganism because there's no way that it couldn't come up on Thanksgiving when we're like,
he has a whole business. He didn't have no samples to give out.
We didn't want them. I mean,
I'm just saying because you said he had a business. I'm thinking like, maybe he would be showing that off too.
We didn't want them. But we were trying to be nice, but like. My grandmother, like the type of person she was, like she's not gonna bite her tongue for anybody, no matter what you've done. I think she was always kind of like that, but like
even worse now. The filter's gone. What filter that was in place? Not there.
But he was talking about how his veganism like keeps him like closer to like the spiritual realm and stuff like that.
I hear that a lot.
And he was talking about how like his brother had passed away, but that his brother had come back to him in the form of a dog. And my grandmother just busted out laughing. It was like, why he gotta be a dog?
A dog. Look, he had me in the first half, and now
I was trying to be respectful because he's older, but
how does he know it was a dog?
Once grandma started laughing, I couldn't hold it no more.
See, but at that point, you're not laughing at him. You're laughing at grandma laughing at him. And laughing is contagious.
And like also we were talking about reincarnation, and I was like, okay, well, one of the things that scientists are saying now, like psychology has a lot to say about psychology and things that aren't psychology but get billed as psychology. It has a lot to say about reincarnation. One of the things that they talk about a lot is that there are more people on Earth now than there have ever been. And his answer to that was that, well, like some of the souls that are coming to Earth now weren't human in a past life. And I was like, oh, so like kind of like the dog thing again. Some things were just dogs or cats. He was like, oh yeah, but also like trees are numbers. And I was like, ha, Trevor, you were a number.
I'm sorry, a number?
Yeah.
How the fuck is a number? Okay. Again, he be having me, and then he loses me immediately after. He be losing me like right after. Like, oh
my
yeah,
grandmother was nearly in tears.
Vegans and vegetarians, they do be like on that more spiritual tip. Oh, his brother is a dog. Okay. Oh, there's more people on the planet now because more animals and trees have reincarnated.
Souls that have never come to Earth as in human form are coming in human form.
And I'm like, okay, there's a basis of that in some people's religion. I can see why you would see that. Okay, now you're losing me again. Numbers?
A number.
My nigga?
A number.
Numbers are a construct.
And I was like, oh, okay, so now you could have infinity people because we have.
You know what? Let me tell you right now. If I come back as a fucking number, how the fuck do you come back as a number?
I don't know. I think after a while he was sick of talking to us because
was that nigga on mushrooms? Is that part of his vegan diet? Some psychedelic mushrooms?
I don't know, but Medea was having a time. She was cracking up.
I can't.
Yeah, and Trevor with his very open mind was trying to listen, and then
like I'm trying to listen too. But...
And Medea were just like dying.
Yeah, y'all weren't nearly high or drunk enough to open your third eye.
Yeah. If this is what veganism does to you, I am surely gonna just keep eating meat because.
Well, did you ever see Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah, but I forgot it.
Okay, well, one of the exes was like psychic because he was a vegan.
Oh,
like yeah, it was it was Scott Pilgrim's ex-girlfriend, the one that was the singer. Her boyfriend, I think, was also an ex of old girl.
Okay.
And he had psychic abilities. And then he ended up losing his abilities because the vegan police showed up and found out he had yogurt or something that actually had milk in it.
Oh no.
So he lost the psychic abilities because otherwise he was almost OP just from being a vegan. So yeah, very, very funny. But anyway,
so yes, we had a good Christmas. We had a Christmas mistake cake, which we loved. So much so that now I got to figure out, like, only because I use like a little bit of the spice cake. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of that cake mix. And so like I came up with a good idea of like, I'll make like just one pan, like a 1-layer cake. I'll use half of it and adjust the recipe. And I found a recipe also for like an eggnog frosting.
Oh.
Eggnog and cream cheese frosting.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yes.
What if you did, okay, because I'm not familiar with baked goods like that. What if you did an eggnog cream cheese frosting on a rum cake?
I don't know.
Like I said, I'm not even sure like if there's even a frosting or anything on a rum cake, or if it's like
so on rum cake, I use a rum, like a rum sugar glaze. Yeah, it's real boozy. Like the liquor does not burn off. Like you're
okay. Consider this then: you keep the glaze, but you give the rum cake an eggnog cream cheese filling.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to think about that.
That might be something. You know, maybe start it out as like a cupcake kind of situation. Like maybe not a whole cake, but do like a rum eggnog cake.
That's what I'm hoping to do this year, is to explore, because like now that I've figured out how to fix the cake mix problem, that creates a new problem of what to do with the extra cake mix. But I've been researching, if you can call it research, like these little cake molds.
Yeah.
Because every time like you look at the Korean cakes, like Koreans bake these like lunchbox cakes and you have like these little molds. But I don't like the way that they bake cakes because they're Asian and they don't use enough sugar for me. Because the Asians have a different
I think the rest of the world in general does not use enough sugar for Americans.
Does not use the same amount of sugar that Americans have.
The rest of the world does not use enough sugar, or they use
also I would never
sugar or something.
I would never like gift an Asian person that I know something that I made at home because I know like they would taste it and be like, it's too much sugar.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'd have to give them something in the vein of their own country, and they'd just be surprised that I even know about the thing in their country.
Right. Because they don't want all that sugar.
I do.
They don't.
I want all that high processed fructose, whatever the fuck.
High fructose corn syrup.
Man, like, I don't remember if I had mentioned this, but for my birthday, I had gotten Mountain Dew Pitch Black. It was $15 a bottle. Not even a 2-liter. It was like the small regular size. But they had imported it from like the Philippines or something. Malaysia. Something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I have not had Pitch Black, the original formula, in like 15 years or something. Like they tried to bring it back earlier this year, and they changed it to like a berry punch. No, when I remember it, it was like a grape drink. It was darn near cough syrup sweet. And to see this on the shelf at FYE, I was like, oh my god, this could be the formula that I wanted. It's $15. Fuck. But it was my birthday, so my aunt got me 2 bottles. So 2 bottles for $30. I've been like sipping on it like it's a fine cognac. just taking shots of it. But unfortunately, it's not the flavor I remember. And I think it's
No.
because it was made in fucking Malaysia, so they use like cane sugar and not whatever the high fructose shit is here in America.
You know what else about cane sugar? If you drink that, you will feel full
Mm,
in a way that high fructose corn syrup, I think, like circumvents like your satiety cues.
mm.
So like if you drink things that are cane sugar, because I remember when Whole Foods, before they got taken over by Amazon, like their sodas and stuff were made of cane sugar. And so like I would drink half of a pop and be like, what? Why am I feeling this? Like
Nah, man.
why am I feeling like I've had enough? Like typically when I eat sugar, I could eat sugar all day.
Yeah, and it's just burnt off. It's like
and I don't feel it. It's just kind of like yum 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 yum.
yeah,
I
it's
could
like
eat
water.
it. Yeah.
Honestly, no, I can get full off of water.
That's because you're 90 pounds.
I can't hope I have a high metabolism and no sex. Sex makes you fat.
You think so?
Uh-huh. I don't know what it is about sex having folks.
I don't think it's the sex. I think it's the men. Because there have been studies about like you move in with a man, you get fat. And I'm not sure of how this works, but I think it might have something to do with like they snatch up all the food from you. So you look at the food that you have in front of you, and typically you might have just like eaten until you were full and then saved the rest for later. But if there's a man around, you're just like, oh, well, I'll never see this again if I put it in the refrigerator.
Huh.
So you end up eating more.
That's a theory. I think it just kicks in certain hormones that I do not have activated because I'm not having sex. Kind of like when you're pregnant, there are certain hormones that your body just develops in a way to like prepare for the baby and nutrients for the baby. I think actively engaging in sex often enough, there's something that your body does that like just builds its own like fat reserves or whatever and just puts it in certain parts of your body that if you're not having sex, you're just not gonna have on your body.
I really do think it's men. It's proximity to men.
Okay, like well, that's
because I've had enough men just like go into my refrigerator and fuck up my plans for the week.
What about the lesbians having sex?
I've only ever seen that study that was about like straight women.
Well, there you go. I said people having sex. I ain't say you living with these folks you having sex with. I'm saying you regularly having sex. So your body's developing in a way of like, wait, are we finding mates?
Oh, you know
let
what
me get
else?
the house together.
You know what else? Having birth control, my experience with birth control is that birth control made me gain weight too. Birth control makes me gain weight and not want to have sex.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You think it would do the opposite, or not that it would, but maybe should. I don't know. They want more babies in this world. Well, no, because you taking birth control. More babies in this world. Give you a sex drive and you can't have babies.
Yeah, and I've also heard that like birth control can also mess with like who you're attracted to. Like there have been women who like were on birth control, met a man, liked him, married him, got off birth control in order to try for a baby, and then they're like, I don't like this man.
Oh wow. Well, I know that like when you're on your period, I've seen this a lot. When you're on your period versus when you're not, you're more attractive to certain men.
Yeah. Also, when you're ovulating,
Mm-hmm.
you're attracted to a different type of man than when you're not ovulating.
That's crazy.
I know. And it can really mess up relationships, especially if you act on that.
I feel like I'm always baseline attracted to the same type of dude. It's just at certain points I'm really attracted to that type of dude. So I'm like actively like watching stuff with that type of like body type or like reading stuff with that type of body type. and it's like especially great during that period. And then it just goes back to the normal, like, oh yeah, I like
And
that.
I actually met somebody who was one of the researchers on a study that was done in Minnesota that was looking at strippers and how they dance. And it turns out that men judged the dancers as dancing more sexy when they were ovulating, and the men had no way of knowing whether or not the woman was ovulating.
Interesting. Did the women know?
No, because like women know it, like unless you're like testing for certain hormones and stuff like that, like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know like when you're ovulating. And it's kind of the reason why like the rhythm method doesn't work, because like you can plan your period or whatever, but you don't actually know when you're ovulating. So if you're thinking like, oh, if I don't do it this week, and if I don't do it during these couple of days or whatever, and I wait a little bit, then I should be good again. The thing is that you could be off for like 72 hours or so. Like that can move. And because that can move, also like sperm can stay alive inside of you.
Yes, it can.
For
Was it
kind
like
of
3
a long
days?
time. Yeah. So you weren't ovulating when you did it, but now you are, and the sperm can find that egg.
I hate that. That is so creepy to me. 3 days?
Yeah, I could just stay up there. It's microscopic. Try not to worry about it.
No.
Up there, moving around.
See, and that. I'm so glad you can't like get pregnant airborne. I'm so glad. God, I'm so glad. Oh, God forbid that becomes a thing. I will never leave my house again. Full hazmat suit at all times.
And the dancing more sexy in front of men, like more bending over, more like doing things to kind of like display cues. Women who were lesbians were also doing it.
Look, that's because they ain't into men don't mean they don't know what men like.
They didn't
Some of
even
the
know
hottest women out there are lesbians.
Yeah, but it's not like they went out there like, I'm gonna like pull out some extra tricks today. Like, no, they didn't know. The men didn't know. The men just knew like, okay, so like this dance is more sexy. She's dancing more sexy at this time than she is at this other time.
Well,
yeah.
Like I said, I mean, if you're a lesbian at a strip club for men, like you gonna be dancing sexy for the men regardless.
Right, but why would you be more sexy on the days that you're ovulating than days that you aren't?
Because you're still a woman.
Yeah.
And you still work at a strip club and you trying to make money.
Yeah, but you're always trying to make money. It shouldn't be any difference. But there is a difference, because our like hind brain is older than our frontal lobe, where we keep most of the things that we hold dear to us, such as our personality and sexual preferences.
So are you saying that generally the lesbians would not dance especially sexy for the men when they were on stage?
No, they would dance, they would do their best, but it just happened that they're dancing sexier and getting higher tips on days that they're ovulating.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I wonder if I'm treated any differently on days when I'm ovulating.
You might be.
Like, I'll have to just pay attention to like, it's been an especially good day today.
Yeah. People are nicer to me. I'm smiling more.
Yeah, I'll have to clock that next time.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Ain't give me no money.
It can. Maybe you go choose to like check out your new car, or try to get approved for your loan for your condo on a day that you're ovulating. Because you'll smile more and they'll be more receptive to you. And they'll be like, yeah, this is a nice, good looking lady. Of course, we should like give her as much help in terms of her line of credit as we possibly can. Because I want her to have my babies.
Ugh, that is. Ugh, I hate that as dirty talk. Ugh.
I know. Well, none of the dirty talk sounds good.
Ugh. Ugh. Don't threaten me with pregnancy. I hate when I see that in my smut when I'm reading that. It turns
The
me
breeder
off.
kink.
No! I'm like, that line of dialogue. Okay, here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part, right? I hate when I read that and it's like directed at a woman, but when it's directed at a dude, I find it hilarious. I can't explain it. I think it's the absurdity of it. I'm like, you can't get a guy pregnant, but you said it to a woman. I'm like, how dare you? You're putting her life at risk.
You're putting his life at risk because, like, he's got to have a cesarean.
No, I said they can't get pregnant,
but they do.
Not in the stuff that I'm always reading. No. We're not talking ABO. I'm not talking ABO. Some niggas just be talking that shit just cause, and they know they can't get someone pregnant. It's the whole thing. I've still been reading Deadpool Wolverine fanfic. It's a thing. It's been a great time. It's been how many months since that movie came out, and I'm still. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Okay, you're fine. But yeah.
Once again, I wouldn't understand it. I saw the first Deadpool and immediately forgot it.
That's fine.
I forgot it so hard that I saw it come across like HBO and saw the trailer, and Mom and I really looked at each other and said, "Did we see this movie?
It's on Disney now.
Did we see this movie?
All three.
I think we saw this movie.
All three are on Disney. I just asked.
I'm not fucking with Disney. I'm not going to sign anything that's going to tell them that they can kill me at their fucking theme park.
Hey, look, listen. I have Disney Plus only because a friend has Disney Plus and I log in with their Disney Plus. Yeah. I was just asking for context of how much detail I had to go into in terms of who Deadpool and Wolverine are for you. But
in Wolverine, they will not ever do the one that I want them to do.
Which one?
The one where Hulk's children with She-Hulk.
Oh, God. I don't know, maybe.
And so, like, everything else, I was like, y'all are a bunch of pussies. This is not the storyline I want.
Yeah, no.
You know which one I want, and you won't give it to because you're wimps.
Yeah. Now that it's owned by Disney, I don't see them going that dark with it. They might make reference to it.
They got the Hulk. They got the She-Hulk out there now. You could do this.
Yo, they've kind of like tried to distance themselves from She-Hulk. Like you don't have Disney Plus, but like on the banner for the Disney Plus like homepage when you're like looking for things to watch or whatever, the Marvel banner used to have She-Hulk, and they immediately replaced her with Deadpool. They're like, we got a new fourth wall breaking king, and it is Deadpool. So bye, She-Hulk.
I feel bad. So I did not. When it was on Hulu, I did not support it by watching it, but I did buy the Urban Decay She-Hulk eyeshadow palette.
Okay.
Because it looks good on me. Like green looks good on me, and it came with like lots of shimmer and stuff like that.
I think you could make a good She-Hulk with the business suit. I think you could pull that off. I also did not watch She-Hulk. Nothing about it, like, even humorized.
I like Megan Thee Stallion. I like Megan Thee Stallion a lot.
Yeah, but like the humor from what I saw did not like, the writing just wasn't there for me. Now the comics, She-Hulk in the comics looks like something that I would probably read and enjoy more. It's just the way they had her written for the Disney Plus show, just I don't know. It wasn't hitting the way I wanted it to. I don't know. But hey, at least it got made and people got paid.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go.
All right, what time is it? 6:35. All right. Well,
That has been our show, our final show of the year.
woo!
I'll
It'll
see you
be
guys next year.
2025 and we see you next year.
Yes, yes.
The world is still here.
Well, we should still be here.
Sure. Hopefully.
Yeah. For the time being. Don't know about we gonna see it to the end of January, but at the beginning we should.
I mean, I got a convention coming up, so let's at least make it through March.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. I think the world gonna look very different by March, girl. I'm sorry.
No, I got free cancellation till like March. I'll be fine. Well, I've been Ash.
And I've been Fatima.
This has been Fatash.
Bye.
Happy New Year.